That's great.
Yeah, that works for us.
Okay, now. I have to erase the last podcast.
Yeah, you can send that too. We don't, whatever.
Yeah, whatever works.
Just the audio from a different interview.
Yeah, we'll just ask the questions that you answered.
Okay. Yeah, you see, I had to pay attention because I could have erased something really important.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay, so I was joking. No, but you know what? It should not have been a joke because it could have been something important.
That's
I
why
don't know how. Yeah, it's a stupid joke. Wait, I want to make sure. Let me just do one thing. I want to make sure I have enough room here.
No worries.
No problem.
Execute. It looks like an electric razor. All right, now I have 3 hours and 17 minutes.
Perfect.
Okay, so should I go ahead and start the recording?
Yeah,
go ahead. We'll clap on our end to signal that
yeah.
synced up. So we'll count down to 3. Well, we hit record and then we'll count down and we'll all clap.
Okay, I think I'm good. I think I am good.
Okay.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1.
Perfect.
Not bad.
Great.
Wow, we don't have good rhythm over here.
Now, Andy, do you have a hard out?
No.
Okay, we're just gonna record for an hour.
Look at that! Look at this! Woo!
Whoa!
Hey, everybody, let's party.
Is that a barrel?
This is from my my LSD show I did.
Are you drinking out of a bamboo stick?
Yeah, I am. I saw that Netflix psychedelics thing. It was weird. It wasn't that great.
I watched it too.
I have great LSD story. I mean, I don't want to brag.
Wow, we know you're cool.
But I just thought it was like weirdly done. Yeah. Anyway, that's not. We're not here for that. If you want me to start complaining, we'll never get out of here.
Oh, hey, we can do that too.
Well, Andy, we're New York City comedians, so just I don't know if your publicist told you that, but we also do the podcast, so we're not a couple.
Oh, cool.
Of,
you guys you look familiar to me, but it could have been. I'm not. Don't get. This is just a comment on how old I am.
Yeah.
I am now noticing. If you two guys could look somewhat similar to people I knew 40 years ago who were your age then.
Right.
Okay.
So it can't be. It can't be.
Were they attractive?
Well, comics, as you know, comedians are never attractive.
See, right. I totally agree.
I mean, if we were attractive, seriously, we would be playing around on Zoom.
Yeah, we'd be making big bucks.
We'd be rock and rollers.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, I feel like we are just people that wanted to be rock and rollers and realized we couldn't.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with comedians. But the thing is I was a musician. I was a failed musician, so.
Right, you were a guitarist, right?
Yeah, I was a guitarist. Oh, by the way, is it sounding okay? It is not
you sound great
now.
You're coming across great.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Perfect. So I'll get us started, Andrew.
Yeah. So we'll do the intro, Andy, and we usually talk about we ask you about your background with anxiety and neurosis. We ask you what makes you uncomfortable, and then we ask you what something specific that made you anxious this week.
Oh, okay, cool.
And it's all riffing and tangents, so don't.
Oh no, everything has to be scripted for me. So
did you got the dailies?
So I would like to say to you, okay, no, I got it.
All right, perfect. I'll get started.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Panic Attack, the podcast about anxiety. I'm Steven Rogers.
I'm Andrew Chavone.
This is we're super excited for this one because with us we have the hilarious comedian Andy Kindler. Everybody,
thank you, everybody. Should I be focusing on? I don't need to first of all, how long, if you're a narcissist like me, how long till you stop looking at yourself on the screen, which means you're not looking into the camera? Is that the camera?
I've got to be honest.
Am I right down the barrel now? Is that where you guys are?
Yeah.
Yeah, you look good. It's impossible not to look at yourself.
I shouldn't worry about the Zoom, though, really. It shouldn't be about the Zoom, I don't think.
No.
It's about the experience.
You got it.
Oh,
This is
man.
a weird thing, because do people normally see your podcast visually, or do they listen to audio? I have a podcast, by the way, and I'll be plugging it every 4 minutes. It's called Thought Spiral with Josh Elvis Weinstein. But Andy, do you have a comedy album? Yes. At the age of 63, I released my first comedy album, hence the humor.
Love your album. I've listened to it.
We listened to it. Yeah,
Get out of here.
It.
You know how
I
long
love
it took me to put that out? That could be another whole thing. It won't be a thing. This will never end.
And Josh Elvis Weinstein's hilarious. I used to watch him on Mystery Science Theater, and then I know now he does stand-up.
You weren't even born. I'm going to do this another 40 minutes of how old I am and how young you are, because the reason why I've been into this new bit is the industry loves it. They love me to talk on and on about how old I am, and that I feel that I describe myself as shambling.
Gary Shambling.
Oh.
Is that? I don't know what that word means. I think it's like you kind of like you're like shambling.
You can be in shambles. So the act
That's
of being
what it
in
is.
shambles.
Yeah.
Oh my God! No wonder there's a lot of neuroses. There's a lot of we're smart Jews. But I don't know. Why do I assume Noah's a Jew except me? I'm the only Jew on the phone, right?
You're the only Jew in the Zoom right now.
Oh, okay, white supremacist. Thank you, Mr. Boogaloo.
Oh, man.
But we live in Queens. We can't be white supremacists in Queens.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Now, do you know that I'm from your area?
We're in Queens.
I was born in, I grew up in Whitestone, and I went to Bayside High School, and I went to 194 and 193.
It's Bell Boulevard, right?
Yes, Bell Boulevard is very close. I took violin lessons on Bell Boulevard. It should be a joke. I can't even make that funny. I can't even make talking about playing the violin funny. Like Jack
I laughed. I don't know.
Don't make me do my forced perspective. I'll do it.
Oh, dude, I'm freaking out.
I'm coming after you, assholes. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to curse.
I like how the rest of your body doesn't move when you run.
Are you
Come back here. Come back here. I'm not even breathing heavily. Come back here. That's no one. So my question was: are most people listening audioly, or are they listening visually?
They're audio, so they love that last bit you just did.
Okay, good. Yeah. Oh, so is the Zoom not even going to be used, or it is used? People can go online.
They will see the video, but most people will have audio.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Thank you. And you're witness.
Andy, yeah. This Zoom is adjourned.
We're Astoria boys.
Oh, you're Astoria. Wow.
Yeah.
And so you guys, you're both stand-ups, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so you guys don't know from Jimmy's Comedy Alley. When I started, there was a bowling alley in Bayside that I never played because I didn't do comedy until I came out to Los Angeles.
Oh,
and then I would
man.
go back to New York and bomb. But that's when they were horrible. All the clubs were pretty horrible. You are so lucky. You are so lucky to be. You got Trump. You got the quarantine. And you've got the greatest. And if you could go and be around other people, what a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
If you could see other people.
Yeah.
It'd be
Right.
such a seminal period.
If it was
What a time
legal to
be,
gather.
be in the beginning of our careers.
Yes, I envy you. I envy you as the last generation on Earth.
Yeah, really.
Oh my God.
No, but the
Now-
comedy's great. Crowds are way better now than they ever were. That's my opinion in general.
Because they're
Like
not
I
at a
wouldn't have
bowling
the
alley.
same hacky clubs in New York. That's true. That's the
It's a little
first
easier.
move I would have made.
It's a little easier when the pins aren't being knocked down when we talk.
Yeah, yeah.
True.
It's nice when the
Very
club,
true.
the audience members can wear their own shoes.
Well, that's the only thing. If they kept open a little bit longer, it would have been closed by the quarantine. Probably it wouldn't have made it through.
Yeah, I don't think bowling is phase one.
Bowling is the worst idea. Bowling is terrible when it's safe. When you break your hand after the first game, it's the most germ-filled activity you can have. I used to spit inside the bowling ball for luck.
And it's only finger foods. It's only finger foods.
Yeah, hamburger, and then each hole in the ball.
Yeah.
I would lick my hand, use the dryer, get my hand all licked up.
My God.
Wait, didn't they called you Slick Fingers Kindler?
They call me Slick Fingers, and also Dampy. Dampy was my nickname.
Oh,
Dampy.
it's always good to be associated with being moist.
Yeah, moist. Yeah, that's right.
Crowd
Dampy
pleaser.
J Moistman was my stage name for many years.
The host hated shaking your hand.
Yes, we did. Yeah, I used to do. They say stop doing the broadcast news bit. I don't know if that is that too old a reference.
The broadcast news?
I don't think so.
Well, it's the
relevant.
sweating. Albert Brooks sweating in broadcast news.
Oh man.
So he's sweating. So they're telling me don't do the Albert Brooks bit, and I say I'm not doing a bit. Zoom.
My God.
Zoom.
Oh
You're zooming
my
into
God.
Zoom.
I do my own Zoom.
Wow. And the bowling balls, the holes, how do you clean those? You need like a plumber's tool. They have the last
That's how-
pandemic ball.
It does sound like an '80s bit, though, doesn't it? Who
Yeah.
cleans
Yeah, I
those
know.
bowling? Who cleans
What's
those
the
bowling
deal?
balls? No, definitely you should not. That's one sport you should not have your own ball. You should shop around,
Yeah.
stick your fingers
Yeah.
in. You want to stick your fingers also in the crevices around where the ball was kept. You know,
Right, why stop at the ball?
yeah. My favorite bowling ball was always propped up with an empty malted milk ball container. It was my favorite one.
Oh my God, I'm gonna pass out.
And you're sitting right next to the people in the bowling alley, right? The bowling alley, you're sitting. It's closer than the airplane seats, right? In the bowling alley. You're like this next to the person next to you. Look at me, I'm an old style physical comedian. Very good.
You're like sitting on a mechanic's lap. How's your game going?
A mechanic's lap. Hey, look, I've been doing this league bowling since I was 19 years old. Are you fucking telling me that we're going to lock it down? We have to bowl. We have to bowl whether we want to or not. We have to bowl even if there are sick, dying people in the lanes.
Bowling leagues are essential workers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're opening up anyway. Here we come, ready or not.
The sick people become the pins?
Yeah.
You just knock them over?
Oh man.
It's a hoax. It's a hoax. As the second billion of 2 billion people die, Trump will be saying it's very exaggerated. But you know what, guys? We don't need this kind of nervousness on top.
Oh man. So do you have a long history of anxiety, Andy? Like, when did you know that you had it?
Well, mine in a lot of ways is a very sad story because, well, not that sad. I mean, well, it's not sad at all. Okay, let me repitch it. Let me give you the elevator pitch. Let me give you the elevator pitch of my anxiety. Okay,
Please.
I'll give you the elevator pitch. No, I won't do that. I'm anxious. I'm anxious. I don't think these doors are going to open. So, hey! I have a fear of elevators. I have a fear of elevators. I have a fear of enclosed spaces. That's the pitch.
What's the weight max?
I'm writing this down because I refuse to listen back to anything that I've ever been on. I have a fear of. You'll tell me later what that was.
Okay.
Closed spaces.
Your elevator pitch. You're afraid of elevators.
I don't like sliding doors. Sliding doors. My father was killed by a sliding door. My father was killed in a 6x6 room. It wasn't an elevator. I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. My mother yelled at me in elevators. She used to take me to the elevator to scold me. The sad story is I didn't realize until I was out I grew up in New York and I moved out to LA. That's a whole long story. Well, it's fascinating. And I went to LA and I hadn't and I didn't drive much in New York because I grew up in Queens. I got my license, but I went to the state. I don't want to brag, but I went to the State University of New York at Binghamton.
Oh,
hey, I'm from Syracuse.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I love the whole thing. Shut up, Andy. This is the voice inside me. Where's the anxiety come from? This is a guy inside me right now. Shut up, Andy. Shut up. Andy, you don't even have a good Wi-Fi system here. Shut the fuck up. They're trying to talk to you. They have new careers. They're looking forward to their life. And you go on and on. Just shut up. Why don't you listen to the question first, Andy, and then answer it? Maybe that would help. So when I moved out to LA, I started to drive. And I thought, well, there's two things. I thought when I was driving that I may have hit something in the car. So, and this is 1979. So this is when OCD wasn't that, it was around, but they didn't have, people, it wasn't as much diagnosed. So I actually would, I would drive. I would, I turned it into comedy gold. No, but I would drive and I go, did I just hit a pebble? Or could that have been the leg of a person? Could that have been a tiny pebble person I've hit? I should probably go around the block. Let me go around the block. Oh, they're not here. Probably because they crawled off into the bushes. Let me go look in the bushes. And when I get home, let me call the police and say, first of all, are there pebble people? And if so, have any of them been hit on the street? So I didn't know what that was. I thought I was absolutely crazy. That was OCD. Now there are people who think that they've mailed somebody in an envelope. It can be that unrealistic. Wow. In my case, it was pretty unrealistic, but it was still realistic enough to have you worried for hours.
Right.
And but here's the thing. Until I went into therapy at age 59, I hope you can you fix this audio? And when I say 59, you bump it down to 29 or you jump it down to 39.
26.
Do you have
it'll be a robot voice.
Do you have a seniors audience, or is it all the same people? All right, so for the seniors tour,
you have your demographic.
Yeah, we got the demographic.
What was I just saying? See, that's another thing. Anxiety.
Therapy.
Okay.
You went to therapy, 59.
Yeah, right, and I have 59 was the oldest
26.
Jew to enter therapy, because I just never. It's a whole long story. I felt like I was a spiritual person. I felt like I was a person who thought about myself a lot, but I never understood that I had anxiety my entire life.
Right.
Entire life. And never interpreted as anxiety. And because my because I was I'm reading this book called Mindsight, which is about how, like in early childhood, if like if your parent, my mom died. Okay. So we can talk about her now, right?
Yeah.
You guys
Sure.
didn't have anything to do with it, did you?
I was worried that you're going to start pointing fingers. That's why.
I know. There's
I
nothing.
I did thought I hit somebody with my car. So
There's no better icebreaker. There's no better icebreaker than saying, "Now you know my mother's dead." Right? Okay. Look.
yeah, that's a good
My
way to
mother-
open up.
This is going to be. We may not have enough time to get any of the real all the issues in, but you guys asked for it.
Is that what-
Asked for it.
That's what your
Okay.
therapist says, right?
That's what my therapist said. That's why I have two sessions a week. 2 sessions a week. But my
Wow.
mother and sister both died in March, 10 days from each other,
Oh my
within
goodness.
a 10-day window. My mother was 90. My sister was almost 69. They both had been ill. My mother had Parkinson's. My sister had been sick for her entire life, but it was still obviously a shock.
Right.
Right.
But the worst part is that I have to say I lost 2 of my family members in March, not related to COVID. Don't worry.
Oh my God, this was a couple months ago.
A couple months ago. Not
Oh my
related to
goodness.
COVID. Was it related to, so you have to go, you have to talk another 2 minutes to get past.
Right. Right.
I can't even have the tragedy be my own. I have
Right.
to share it with you COVID people. So, in fact, my mom, my sister knew she was going to go.
Mhm.
She had been sick for years, and she really had a wonderful life, and she knew she was going to go. And I flew back to LA on March 10th from New York, and she died on March 11th.
Oh my God.
And then my mom died 10 days later. I had come back east just as they were talking about the quarantine, but they weren't talking. It happened so quick because I knew my sister really wanted my brother and I to see her before one more time. And she was just a brilliant person. She was a person who bought all these like hospice books and all books about dying, because she kind of knew for a couple of years that she couldn't have any more operations and things.
Right.
So she kind of hung on for me to go to New York. And then my mom, who should have passed a couple of months ago because of the Parkinson's, then she passed 10 days later. And then my brother had to tell my mother about it. But the point I'm making is my mother is clearly dead and cannot hear this podcast, is what I'm trying to say to you people. Okay?
Yep.
I want
They
you
don't
to
get
get
well,
over
yeah.
I want you to get over her death very quickly. No.
The
So
ghost
I can
can't really
feel
use-
free to talk about her,
I
which I
can-
never
Of
was
course.
feel free about.
Please feel free.
All right. First of all, I will now give you guys time to extend your condolences.
I was going to
We're
do
so
it,
sorry,
but now,
Andy.
I was going to do it, but now it seems insincere.
Yeah.
My condolences, Andy.
Yeah.
Your condolences,
You heard that there were 2 family members, right? You
Yeah,
heard
oh.
that, right.
2
Thank you.
times condolences.
And condolences about the time frame too, that they
Yeah, that's
died
10
during this-
days.
awful.
Yeah.
and
It was
during
awful.
Corona of not Corona.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we were the first people, not the first people, but we couldn't go to the funeral. I mean, I wasn't in the
Right.
city,
Right.
but nobody could go because there were all of the relatives were all.
Oh, man.
But
Yeah.
but the thing is, I didn't mean to bring you guys down, but I have more. No, I don't have more. I am suffering from paralysis that occurred as this podcast started. I started to feel my left side.
Oh, I thought that was a bad connection.
Oh,
Yeah. Hey, don't. I didn't know you were really frozen.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about my mom.
Mhm.
And even when she was alive, because I was talking on the podcast, I don't know, did I mention the name of the podcast?
Yours or ours?
Mine.
Yes.
What's it called?
Spiral.
Let's Spiral. That's right.
Not spiral.
Spiral.
Write that down.
Hence the humor, by the way.
Hence the right. So what was I talking about? So here now, right now, when I lose my place, that's all anxiety, and I never knew that was anxiety. As soon as I'm telling this story, whatever I was saying to you, I lose where I was. I start to panic in that moment,
Wow.
It's not like a serious. It's not a serious panic.
Right.
Because I only had a few panic attacks in my life, and it hasn't. It's been a long time. Thank God, even with the recent stuff, I didn't. Oh, I'm lying. I did get a panic. I'm such a liar. I've been vomiting for the last year and a half. You know why we get during my nervous stomach? Why do I make up stuff? What's the point? What am I trying to prove? Look, you know what? I don't get any panic now that my family members are dying. That's not what bothers me. It's when they were alive.
Oh.
Now, here's the thing. I used to say that my mother was not going to listen to the podcast as a joke. This was a couple of months ago when she was still alive. But now I can feel free that she really is not going to listen to the podcast. And my mother is not a monster, so stop saying that. My mother, I love my mother. I love my mother as an adult. I was the youngest.
All right, you've convinced me.
Good. But my mother was very depressed when we were kids, and she was in therapy like in her mid-20s. But before she got into therapy, it's a whole long story, but she was like really badly depressed. And we were kids, we didn't know what was happening. So that book, Mindsight, talks about if you don't get in early, and my therapist talks about this too, in early childhood, you don't get the cues, the positive cues from your initial caregiver.
Right.
If you start reflecting back what they're reflecting back, that's how I got a feeling of abandonment. Well, other things too, but a terrible feeling of abandonment. And also, I didn't realize how much I kind of hated myself until I got to therapy.
I completely relate.
Now, can you tell me your story, or have you guys told your story so many times that everyone has heard it?
I don't think we've told our early stories, actually. I mean, like I personally relate. My mom has multiple sclerosis, and she's had it my whole life. So I kind of would always worry about people's comfort levels because I was always worried about hers. And so that's been a big thing with me. And I just started going to therapy. Andrew and I go to the same therapist. So
yeah, we started a year ago at the same time.
Yeah,
Stephen went first, and he's like doing wonders.
Yeah,
and we both have the same neuroses and anxiety stuff.
What are your neuroses? Is it? You sound like you have a similar. But was your mother loving when you were?
Oh yeah,
mother.
She's still great and always was, but I was always conscious to the fact that she, wasn't as comfortable as she could be, and I think that always bothered me. Someone that I love not comfortable, that was always.
Did you think you were responsible for her well-being? Because that's what I had it to the point where I thought I was causing everything. My mother's mood, any problems were all caused by me.
I have that now for sure. I don't know if I have it with my parents, but everyone else in my life for sure.
Your mom and dad still together?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Were your
MS
parents,
is.
Andy?
My parents. My dad died in January of 2015. Too soon? That's how my family reacted. Too soon? That's what my mother said. That's from my act, guys. Sorry, that's from my act.
I'll take it. I love
it. My favorite joke, which I don't think you guys are going to get because it's based on an old joke. But here's my new favorite joke. At my father's funeral, my mother turned to me and she said, "Andy, I have to, but you?" Okay. It's based on an old joke where a guy comes home, he catches his best friend in bed with his wife. And he says, "Harry, I have to. But you?"
I love it.
I turned that around and I put it into the setting of a funeral for my father. It couldn't be more inappropriate. And then I did a whole bit about how when people would get uncomfortable, I say, "Let me just tell you something. My father would have wanted me to do weak material about his passing." But nothing would have made him more proud. He took me aside right before he died. He said, "Andy, when this is all over, I hope you turn it into another one of your bits that goes nowhere."
Hey, put that on my tombstone.
Oh,
But you know what's amazing? Like I never thought I would get this kind of thing from being a comedian, but I got like probably a few people came up to me after shows like did that. So I haven't talked about my mom. I haven't been out of the house with my mom and
Right.
sister. But you get people who I think felt bad that they could laugh, or that they were laughing, because I think
Right.
everyone does laugh. It's almost a cliche
All
to
the
say,
time.
yeah, but
Yeah.
made them feel. It's like it's very hard for me now to allow myself to have whatever emotion I'm having in life in general. And one of my first instincts is to make jokes. So
Yep.
We're the same way.
So
Yeah,
so that's a real that's a
laugh.
real gift. It's a real gift, I think.
Yeah.
I don't want to say gift like an old Jew comic, but it's a gift. It's a real gift. I mean, it's a cliche to say it, but that
No, we
is
know what you
kind of what
mean.
the point
Yeah.
of comedy is. That's the
It
kind of
works.
point of comedy. It does
And
work.
everyone has their own way to mourn and to process things. I mean, all the three of us process it with jokes, which I think is.
I think that's why, like, when the first anything bad happens to me personally, I immediately want to find comics so I can start making jokes about it, because everyone else doesn't know how to react. But
Yes,
comics get it, and they'll do it too, and it's so therapeutic.
well, I think that I consider myself a spiritual person. I consider laughter very. I mean, again, I don't want to sound like Tony Robbins or even his brother Eddie Robbins.
Oh, I love Eddie.
He's such an asshole.
He worked at the Orange Julius.
Well, he doesn't work. He just tells everyone else that they can do it.
Yeah. He makes them make the Julius.
Yeah.
I used to do this joke. I can't stop doing this joke with various other locations. I go, yeah, I went down to Johnny Rockets today, and of course Johnny Rockets was down there bragging. I have 55 hamburger places. Oh, I'm doing very well. There are several establishments that have that kind of that you can do that with.
Oh,
that have a name to the
I
restaurant.
I love your extended stay bit.
Oh, thank you. It's not on the album, folks. Maybe it is on the album.
I think it is.
I haven't listened to the album in a while.
Oh, it's so funny.
I just want to say one thing about the album because it's not important, but I'm very happy with the album because I listened to it. I edited it. I usually want to brag, but then I stop. But in this case, I'll just say I did edit it all myself, and I listened back to it after a few years because that's a whole long story. OCD, you can't complete projects.
Right.
Do either of you guys have OCD?
Andrew, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I always think it's never good enough. Even that's what that post on Instagram, like just a picture of myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could redo this. Like it'll take me a day to post something.
What was? Can you say what was the immediate reason? Because you started therapy recently, but you guys are young, so it makes more sense. But were you guys going for approximately the same reasons for help?
I'd say, I think it's a little bit similar.
Yeah, me and you went through a breakup around the same time.
Yeah,
and we were
not
going
with
through
each
the
other,
same.
but
yeah,
our relationship's going strong. But yeah, we both went through a breakup around the same time, and I moved to New York like a couple of years prior, and was still like I never lived anywhere else, so it was a little bit of adjustment.
And
how old are you guys?
I'm 34.
And I'm 28.
That's unbelievable. This is like we were meant to meet because I started comedy at 28.
Wow.
So I feel like if I had any message, and I don't know if this resonates with either one of you, if I could have one piece, like if rub the genie or the lamp or whatever it is, one piece of advice that I wish I could have taken was to get off my own back and be nice to myself.
Wow.
And I mean that for comedy.
Yeah.
I went through, as an OCD person, I went through one solid year on stage. And this is before I was diagnosed. I didn't know what it was. I would say, I am holding the mic in the right hand. Now I am looking to the left side. How could I be funny if I'm able to talk to myself while I'm doing the comedy? And I thought I would never like I knew that I was fun. I mean, everybody in my family was funny, but I didn't believe I could be funny on stage a lot of the time, because I wasn't very funny on stage at the time when I started. You know what I mean? I was like really green. I was really green. I hadn't seen everyone is.
Yeah.
So and in fact, I shouldn't even compare myself, because it's all, I think when you start, it's always somewhat the same depending on who you're starting with and all that kind of thing. But I was so hard on myself, so mean to myself.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're both like, I think Andrew and I are both 7 years in, and like even now, if I get like when I was getting off stage and somebody would compliment me, I would notice I would physically go like this, like yeah.
Yeah.
I would always dismiss it. I would dismiss it every time.
Every time. I'm like the worst critic is an expression, but that advice couldn't have resonated more for me.
Yeah, you know, it's so funny you went like this, because are we all from Queens?
I'm from Syracuse, and you're from?
I'm from Virginia.
But you grew up most of your life in Queens? Both of you in Queens?
No, we moved here to do comedy. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a thing called the Queens Wave, okay? And this has actually happened to me. It's called the Queens Wave. On Thanksgiving morning, I went for a jog many, many years ago.
Yeah.
When I was staying with my parents, and I came around a corner, and there was a guy like dressed up very nice for Thanksgiving Day in a suit or whatever he was. He was in a car, and he sees me. He thinks I'm going to be his son, you know, coming out to go to the event.
Oh.
So he goes like this, and then he sees it's not his son. He goes, eh. He waves me off on Thanksgiving morning. The ability to show your visual displeasure is so, I mean, like, what's that club out in Union Hall?
Yeah,
in Brooklyn.
This is not a cliche about New Yorkers. I was walking there when I did the club last, and this guy, I see him, he knocks into a bush. Some guy, it's like in the middle of winter. I go, oh, are you okay? He goes, yeah, what the hell is the deal with these bushes? And I can't even look. I try and go to my car. I go, what the thing is, I call the city, and it's like, what's the point? I couldn't believe it. It was so, it was like seeing inside myself.
Yeah. That's
Are
why
you okay, sir? Sorry.
That's why it's fun to go to Mets games, because they all do the wave at once. And that can knock a ball out of the field. Give me the tiniest wave.
Oh, that's hilarious.
My first time in New York, I missed the bus, and the bus stop was right outside of some New York guy's house, and I was like cursing at myself, and he said, "Don't worry, sweetheart, there'll be another one." Like, all right.
Oh my God, that reminds me of growing up, because like when I was growing up, I would have to take a 45-minute bus to get to Flushing, New York.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would have to take a subway, the number 7 subway, to go into New York. That would be another 45 minutes to an hour. So even though as the crow flies, it's short. Why did I say as the crow flies? It's time. Forget about what I said about being hard on yourself. I think I should have been harder on myself. As the crow, flies. What am I, Copernicus? Who am I? Magellan? What am I? What am I? A historical reference? Where am I? At the geographical location? Actually, I'm doing James Adomian doing his impression of me. He does an impression of me. He goes, I was staying at the Westin because there was no more room at the Easton. What's the matter? You people don't like my Cardinals direction humor?
Oh my God.
Oh. Stop me. Someone stop me.
We love the historical references. Are you saying, Andy,
That's all I have.
Are you saying, Andy, it took a while for you to commute to New York City from from Whitestone?
That was unbelievable. Now they have express buses.
Man,
Oh yeah, but they're more
Yeah,
expensive. They're like
it's
$70.
crazy.
it's literally crazy. No, but can you imagine? I grew up in my house. We moved in 1959,
Mhm.
and my parents paid $30,000 for the house, and
Oh
now
my
we're
God.
trying to sell it. And my whole life, I was like, oh my God, I know I'm going to get this house, and it's going to be worth over $1 million. Just you guys wait and see. But what I didn't realize was that my mother would be very ill, and my mother, she's selfish. I've got to use the mortgage money now for nurses and all this kind of nonsense.
Oh,
So
no.
Right.
now I'm going to break even or lose money on the house. What's the point of having parents leave you something? But it's really weird because I really am now alone. I mean, I've never been in this position my whole life where I didn't
Right.
have my brother's alive, and that's very cool. But I mean, until last Thanksgiving, I would go back there every single year.
Wow.
So I mean, that really is I would imagine. And then I couldn't go back in. Nobody could go. I couldn't go back in once I got back here.
Right.
Because,
Right.
The quarantine.
Right.
Good guess,
and-
Andrew.
What'd
Oh,
say,
you
Stu?
guys, I like this. This is what we try to have on my podcast, where we get the old digs in there. Get the digs
we
in
love
with
the
your
dig.
partner.
Oh, we're like brothers, digging at each other
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah, I love it.
If we're not digging, we're bickering.
Yeah,
Oh.
we bicker like an old married couple constantly.
Hey, you know what's nice about this is that you guys, there's not going to be it's going to be very hard to top this interview in terms of if you go like, look, we judge the interviews by how many problems the person has coming in. All right. Did this person have anxiety? Maybe they did, losing 2 family members in 10 days. Yes, perhaps that was a little bit disturbing.
Yeah, you definitely blow out our problems.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I
talk to the hand about your problems.
Yeah.
was going to complain about trying to find an apartment, and you know,
Yeah.
Well, sadly, breakups can be that bad, though. I mean,
Right.
I'm happily married, as far as my wife knows. No, what do I say? Stupid things like that. But thank God. And when I will say this, and I think it's important to get to this because it's about anxiety. I hit rock bottom in my life. That got me into therapy was I became out of control on social media like Twitter and things like that.
Oh.
I couldn't get off of Twitter. I couldn't stop having fights on Twitter. And if you have any obsessive compulsive tendencies, Twitter is like a horrible trap because a lot of OCD, and it goes, and I'm on Prozac, and thank God I am, and I'm not saying everybody has to be, but in my family, it goes back on my mother's side all the way. I mean, like, we can't remember when they didn't have OCD. Like my cousin, who sadly committed suicide, she had it so bad, she actually did call the police department to see if somebody had reported somebody hitting somebody. So, and that was in 1980. So she had it worse than me in many ways. Well, obviously she commits. Yeah, if someone commits suicide, it is worse than me. Thank you, everybody. And I don't want any letters from you people saying I'm trivializing anything, and I don't want any negative feedback from anything I say.
Oh, I think people get it.
And anything I say in the future, I apologize for now if there's a problem.
I mean, these are your relatives, so I don't think people are going to be offended. By
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
I want to say condolences again for all the other members. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, I forgot what I was going to say about the OCD, the panic. What was I saying about the panic?
Rock bottom, Twitter.
Oh, okay. So, because it's OCD is fight, flight, or freeze. So, and also with abandonment issues and PTSD and stuff like that, it's fight, flight, or freeze. So and then in Twitter, the worst part is that you have an area where you can keep checking to see what people are saying about you.
Right.
That's the catch.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And so and the hard thing has been is that I'm not taking myself off. So I had to make a change where I'm in a profession where I need social media.
Yeah.
So it's been the hardest thing I've had to do, but I've come a tremendous way with it. I used to get mad and argue with people, like I would get so angry when people were mean atheists or they were Islamophobic, and I would just get into these. And this is another thing about therapy that's so good, is I realized I was arguing that these arguments were turning into replaying things with my dad, because I loved my dad. My dad was hilarious. He was so funny, but he was very bright, and he kind of made me feel stupid sometimes when we would argue, not even on purpose. So all of a sudden, in the middle of these arguments, like I had to realize, oh no, this isn't about you and this person that you don't know, who's a stranger. This is about you and your dad. So it's been really, really like horrible and great and learning. It's been amazing.
That's fantastic.
It's been almost 4 years.
Wow.
This December will be 4 years I've been in therapy.
Man.
And you're doing it twice a week, so that's like 8.
And it's and it's been covered by insurance. I can't even believe it.
Great.
Screen Actors Guild, shout out to them. And I know people at home who are struggling right now. All they want to hear is that I get all of my sessions covered. I mean, do I have to feed into a Jewish stereotype? Can I at least let a minute go by? And you know what else, fellas? Affordable.
Well, the Screen Actors Guild is regular listeners, so they'll be glad. I do believe like when things happen, like not that they always happen for a reason and all this kind of, and I don't believe in these things like you create your own reality. Oh, then why would the Jews want to put themselves in concentration camps? Right? So it's like I don't believe in that concept, but I don't even know why I started that sentence.
Is that an argument people make that they wanted to go into them?
No, it's like when Oprah. I like Oprah, but she's had some bad movements. She had the secret.
Yeah.
She was like,
visualize it and it'll happen.
Right, and it's really, I mean, it's a misapprehension of Eastern philosophies. It's like, it's like you create your own reality in the same sense that everybody is feeding into this reality.
Right.
So the fact that I love this philosopher Alan Watts, and he explained Eastern thoughts for Western people. So he used to say, karma, if you translate it, means you do it. You do it. So in other words, it's not like if I punch one guy in the face, I'm going to get punched back in the face one time. It's the actual being in that mode is the karma. You're in your own bad mood. Not that it's going to be predictive of what's going to happen. And that happens with a lot of those Eastern philosophies, because they're trying to tell you that, yes, that's what I've learned from therapy is like, and the quarantine too, is like, I can think, I have a fundamental thought that I'm doomed. Not anymore. I'm coming out of it. But I'm doomed. It was my fault. I would wake up in the morning and I'd say, it's already too late. You already fucked up. And I'm sorry about the cursing, because I don't usually curse. Does it matter?
No, it's fine.
Oh, okay. I wake up in the morning, so what I've realized is none of those. It's like I'd worry about money my whole life, and I realized I'm not worried about it anymore like I used to be. That doesn't mean I won't ever get worried about it, but I feel like I'm over the hump of realizing that the fear is what. It's the thought that I'm not I'm not a good person. I've done something wrong. I've caused my own problem. I don't deserve whatever success or whatever the thing. And it really is. The quarantine's been good for that, because it allows you to be alone with your thoughts, where you actually go, I can see myself going down these, so I can avoid rabbit holes. Not every rabbit hole, but I can avoid some of them.
Right. You can notice your triggers.
Yeah. That's an amazing thing. What kind of therapy are you in? Is it like a type? Like I'm in almost like analysis. I mean, she's not like Freud, but it's a tradition of that kind of school where she's trying to bring it all out of me.
I think that's what we are in as well, because it's a lot of time. Yeah, it's a lot of us at least my experience, finding it, and she's just like letting me find the answers myself.
And a lot of times I've been going through this. How come I can't see both you guys? This is the worst thing in the world. Why can't I see both you guys?
Are you on your phone? Just swipe over if you're on your phone.
Oh my God.
Swipe the video.
I can't even believe this is so typical of me. I thought that you just didn't want to be seen. I thought that, no, you know what? I could see you when they would switch the cameras. When they switch the cameras. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I'm not that happy. I'm not that happy seeing it. Anyway, what were we? Anyway.
Yeah,
this is so much better. Look at this.
Oh,
we're mishpacha now. Mishpacha.
Yeah.
I recognize that. I forgot where we were, but I was asking you about your therapy. That's right.
Yeah. At least my experience with our therapist is I bring in the issue. She'll ask the questions, and it's like together we unwrap it together. I'm doing maybe just as much work.
I will give her a problem, and then I'll ask, well, what do you think about that? And then she'll give me her opinion, and I'll be like, I don't think that's right. And then that's mainly my session.
She's a sounding board then. She's a sounding board.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of my therapy has been. I'm sorry. I was very influeed by Yahoo Serious. Yahoo Serious. Is that a reference still?
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Look it up. Look it up.
Are you going out on the town after this?
Yahoo Serious. Isn't he an Israeli rapper?
No. Yahoo Serious was a comedian from the old days. Oh my God. Now you're going to tell me you don't know who Carrot Top is.
I know who Carrot Top is. Come on.
Did you have to?
Yahoo Serious was Carrot Top before there was a.
He was Sprout Top.
Yeah.
I can't believe.
He started the silly name trend.
Well, no, I think Carrot Top would be more starting the silly props trend. Well, he didn't start it, but he certainly perfected it. I was going to say that, a lot of my therapy is me realizing that, because this is one of my big problems, so it might not happen for you guys, but like I'm constantly want her to tell me I'm a good person. And see, we've really explored that. So if I like, there's times when like I don't trust her. It's like the truth is I should trust her, but I know like I can tell I'm like talking to her on the phone, because OCD. It's like you think. I mean, I do a whole bit about how you don't. I've never done anything, but I'm afraid I'm going to go to jail for something I didn't do. Okay, so until about 2 years ago, I thought it was a 50-50 chance I was the Golden State Killer. How do I know? How do I know that I'm not a sleep murderer? I go sleep murdering, like Verbiglia walks around. I sleep murder. How do I know? And then I did a whole thing about how he started in Sacramento. I started in Sacramento. He wasn't killing in the club. I wasn't killing in the club. But the point is like, it's I don't even. It's like a type of thing like. I actually doesn't even matter if I can convince myself I haven't done a crime. It's that I'm going to be caught for it anyway. So it's like a really So it's like that kind of a painful. Like I do this other joke, which is like I say, whenever they have a Dateline, they say someone if they got stabbed like 100 times, it's a crime of passion.
Yeah.
How do they know it's not an OCD sufferer? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, which now I have to start again. 7, 8, 2, 7, stab.
There's 20 fingerprints on the doorknob.
This guy seemed like he kept checking the lock. Why would the criminal check to see if the lock was closed? Odd behavior.
It's weird because usually this woman leaves the stove on.
That's classic. Oh my God, guys, we've come up with so much good material for my act.
Oh, have it.
I
can
will
have it
give you
all.
send a release. You'll be getting a release.
Oh, please.
Okay, great. It's yours. You can have the elevator and the.
Oh, the elevator is
tag.
gold. You gotta have
The elevator pitch. Oh my God, elevators aren't safe. No, that is solid, and I will. And not only that, I will. I've done this before. I send royalties to a lot of comics. Doesn't sound right.
please.
Doesn't sound. But I paid over $3 million in royalties to people,
Oh my
just
God.
friends. They call me Johnny Jokeseed,
Joke scene.
like Appleseed.
Yeah. You go around the country just giving checks to comics and then watch them.
Yeah,
roll.
here's one for you. Here's one for you. Hey, you tell somebody, you done? What do you do for a living? Nothing. Then you tell them, how do you know when you're done? Boom. You can have that.
Yeah.
Take it home with you.
And then
You're like, keep the
and then-
tag.
yeah, and in the in the memo section of the check, you write, "What you?" And,
But that reminds me, whenever it reminds me of a joke for my act, I think it's very important that I say, this was a joke for my act, and to formally introduce it and to take up time by performing it again. So I had this joke. I said, it's 2020, but Mel Gibson is still writing, "I hate the Jews" on his checks. Do you guys do you guys get what the derivation of the joke is?
I get it.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
it's 2020, but I'm still writing 2019 on my checks.
Right.
So I says, with humorous intent, I'm still writing, "I hate the Jews." Was I not successful with this act? That's what I'm asking. I just wonder, I mean, it's not for me. I just feel the world missed it.
Well, thankfully, you're on the most popular podcast in the world.
Yeah, your Mel Gibson joke's going to be heard all over the country.
I have a feeling you guys, I'm often wrong. Like if I like people, it's often a death knell for them. I like you guys so much. I think you guys are so talented. I would expect I could call either one of you back next week and you wouldn't be in your apartments. That's how much of an effect. I have closed I've closed at least 4 or 5 comedy rooms in my career. Like the next week, they weren't there.
Like out of business?
I'm not kidding. Who was a couple of one-nighters.
Wow.
I'm just saying, don't take my endorsement of what you're doing as an insurance of success. But I would think a lot of people would love this show, and I bet they do love this show already. And why am I giving you a pep talk?
I love it. Well, because
we need it.
We're just as anxious as you are.
Yeah, this is great.
You're talking to yourself at the same time as us.
Yeah,
I know. I love. Do you tell people to download your podcast at this, that, or and at the end, it's very important that you say, or wherever it is that you like to get your podcast.
That's what
wherever it is.
Yeah, we do it because you can't judge people on where they get their podcast from. It's very
right. And you know, people who listen to podcasts, they're very scared of the post office. I don't know what it is. They can't go to the post office, so they have to have a special service that handles their mail for them.
Oh.
Do you know people listen to the podcast? They don't have time to hire their own people because they're listening to so many podcasts that they have to hire ZipRecruiter. My jokes about podcasts are so old, even you guys don't get them. But you're not old.
Stamps.com.
Stamps.com. Blue Apron. People who listen to
Apron.
podcasts love to have food delivered to their house uncooked.
And make it
Uncooked.
Yeah, they love it. For some reason, they love it. I don't know why.
We don't worry, we have no ads, so you won't hear any of those.
We don't have any ads either.
Yeah, we don't.
We're not successful.
Yep, you're looking at it.
Oh, really? Well, how could you guys dress? How could you dress so well? Are you kidding me? Look at you guys.
All right. Yeah. Sorry, we forgot our tux.
Oh, hold on. There we go.
Oh my God. Must be nice, guys. Must be nice.
There we go. Man.
Oh.
Oh, wow. So would you say therapy is the only way you cope with anxiety? Do you meditate or do you do yoga or anything like that? Or is it?
I have tried meditation, but I don't, I would like to do it more because I think that's definitely a good one. In fact, my therapist said to me something like, I was talking to her about sometimes, it was a couple of times I got so panicky that just to think about my breaths was bothering me, like
Yeah.
concentrate your breathing. And then so she said that she had read this thing or whatever, but the guy said, if you're really panicky, just try and just notice things. Try to calm yourself down by just noticing things. So you can go,
Right.
that's a lamp over here. Here's a cup. And so that thing really helps. And what was happening to me until my mom and sister passed was I was obviously upset about it. So that was causing a lot of unacknowledged anxiety all the time. Right. And then I wouldn't be paying attention to what was happening. So like if I don't eat every hour, I get a little nauseous. So then if I'm not eating, then I would start to think about that.
Right.
And then that would get me more panicky. So it's just been, so I was kind of like throwing up a little with a nervous stomach. And for about a year and a half, not every day, I mean, not every meal, not every conversation, but I had never had that happen to me before where I had to go, behind the hedges.
Right.
Wow.
And then you see the pebble person you hit.
Unbelievable. I threw up on someone I'd hit once in 1982 in my Ford Country Squire wagon.
Oh my!
Was it a person or a car?
I made this up. I made it up. Whatever it was. I was making. You said something. I was ending you. Ending you.
Oh,
I know. But you were so convincing.
Yeah, really.
Yes, and I'm very good at this. Yes, and I'm good off the top of my head. Yes, and yes and no.
Yes, and maybe sometimes.
Yes, and maybe not so much.
Oh man. Oh wow. Well.
I would like to do more meditation. I would, and I do take. I have a psychiatrist, and I have a therapist.
Okay.
Because my therapist doesn't prescribe medication, and the first session I saw her, she goes, "I believe you need medication," because these things why do a lot of people have trouble with the illness model because it's like saying alcoholism is an illness or anything else. I don't have trouble with the illness model because it's like, oh yeah, you have this condition, with however it was caused, so you can beat yourself up less about why you're doing it. Sometimes you're doing it because it's part of your thing. So that's really helped. It's just really helped me. But the first session, she was like, I think you should be on. And I was on Prozac. I kept taking more because I was like, I like this. Let's go to 40. Let's go to 60. Let's go to 80. And then 80 started to not. So now I'm at 40 milligrams.
Okay.
That was just on your own, or your psychiatrist told you to do that?
No. Just so that's what the psychiatrist is for. So my therapist sent me to a psychiatrist. Okay. She prescribed me Prozac. I was already taking Adderall. Adderall changed my life. At age 50, I thought that I had a fake disease and I couldn't understand why I couldn't focus. And Adderall changed my life. I used to have the most nervous stomach on airplanes, and I couldn't figure out why. When I started taking Adderall, all of those things completely went away because I didn't realize it was panic. It was all anxiety. Anxiety. And I like people think, what's that?
I'm the same with airplanes.
Steven has that fear of flying.
And some people don't respond to, but some people don't respond to stimulants. Like if you don't have ADD, you won't respond as well sometimes.
Right.
Because people get surprised that I'm on Adderall. They go, doesn't that make you more nervous? But it doesn't usually.
No, it settles you.
People would think that, but it's all everybody's frequency. That it's all different for everybody.
Right. Exactly.
Man. Wow.
I always think that the therapist psychiatrist is like the agent manager combination. They talk, right? And
that's exactly right.
They do different things, but help you to the same goal of making the money.
Here's a joke from 1993.
Ooh.
I have an agent. I have a manager. I have a lawyer. I have someone who for 2% I call them up and they go, "It's not you, Andy. This business is screwed." 2%.
I need
2%.
that. I need
It's well
that
worth
person.
it. Well worth it.
Man, that's timeless. You should do that bit now.
Yeah, I'll take that person.
Don't tempt me. I'll bring it back.
Please bring him back.
What do you think about my Y2K? My Y2K material. Should I bring that back again?
Just update
What's
it to
up with this
Corona.
bicentennial? Is the bicentennial current?
Oh man. Wow. So usually we wrap up with we have listeners that send in topics of things that made them anxious this week.
Cool.
And I'll just read the one that we have because of time. This one's kind of
because I dominate. I could.
No.
God forbid I should listen to you guys.
no.
You guys-
No. This is great.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You,
It'll only take me 2 hours to get over this.
Trust me, you were wonderful. This is the best ever.
You guys are wonderful. You guys are.
Oh
Wonderful.
man.
Oh, come on.
Well,
Stop
he does
it.
have. You do have 3 hours
Stop
on
it.
your recorder. Don't tempt us.
This is a reverse. This is a reverse roast.
It's a boast.
You guys are so funny, so great, so good.
Oh
You're
man.
good people.
Oh,
I think you just do the info at the end.
Hashtag you too for the right reasons. For the right reasons.
I do have one question. I remember I remember you mentioning once that you froze on Letterman. Is that
Oh,
true? Was that what was that like with as someone with anxiety?
it was so okay. David Letterman he doesn't care, but
Right.
he doesn't prefer that you have cue cards. So you can have them, but I decided a long time ago he doesn't like them. I'm gonna and I have all of these fears of my mind going blank and all these things. So I had memorized the set, like, Apple, Sugar Cube, What's Up with Pizza. Those weren't the
Yeah.
best, but those sound pretty funny. They sound pretty funny.
I want to
so
hear
the-
those jokes. Come on.
I was supposed to go into the bit about Michelangelo. So I start to say, Michelangelo. I just start to say it in my head, Michelangelo. And I swear to God, it seemed like it went on for 3 or 4 minutes. And luckily, I was able to remember the joke. I was able to remember the actual joke. But it's always one of my fears. And it happened early on when I did stand up. It's like one of those anxiety things. I'm so afraid it's like I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm afraid of half the time. But anyway, I remember where I was, and afterwards, one of the writers on the show, he's the only one who noticed. But he goes, definitely, you could tell if you're looking for it. You could tell I was like this. I was like, well, I got a lot of that going on.
Yeah. What's up with you guys?
Yeah. But I don't know. That's one of those things that I think all performers have that, the dream about being naked or the fear.
Right.
Do you guys have any performance anxiety when you?
All the time. Yeah. The bigger the stakes, the more it is, I feel like.
Yeah.
I think the smaller the crowd, the more nervous I am. The bigger the crowd, the less nervous I get.
I'm the opposite. I love a half a filled room. That's all I need.
I like half a filled room if everyone's doing well and I'm doing well, or if everyone's doing bad and I'm also doing bad.
That's exactly right.
Right.
No question. That's the other thing that therapy is good for, because you can realize it used to be because my family was so judgmental, which was the source of comedy for my family. But everybody was good or bad depending on what they did. You're either good. There were no gray areas in life.
Yeah.
And so I don't know why I said that, but it had a point. I don't know what the hell it was.
Well, I was talking about crowds. So, yeah, I guess I wasn't like, oh, they're just okay. I'm not
Right.
nervous.
I thought you were just leading into your Sugar Cube bit.
If I remember, I will add it on to this recording here. And if you guys can work it in,
Yeah,
the
sure.
rest of the show.
Please do it. Yeah.
Come on, guys, the podcast is going crazy now. What are we going to do? It's
For
nuts.
the listeners,
Oh, no!
glasses on upside down.
Folks, I'm out of control. I can't reach a lamp. If I could reach a lamp, the shade would be off right now, and it would be on my head.
That's,
So we had.
that's what I do. That's what I do when I don't want anyone to talk to me on the street. I put my glasses upside down. Usually works. Steven, what?
So we had one listener write in that the thing that made them anxious this week is they had to put out a fire at their apartment building, and the weird thing is during the fire they felt no anxiety at all, but then the next day they've had anxiety symptoms until present.
Yeah, that's
Have you guys experienced anything like that?
Yeah, it's like you're in the moment, so you don't really think about how nervous you are, and then afterwards you're like, oh my God, what was that? And then you feel anxious about not feeling anxious, and you kind of relive the moment. I feel that.
Yeah, I mean, I was once held up, and not held up. Yeah, I was working in a stereo store, and they came in and they tied us up, and they had guns, and they were speaking in Spanish, and I didn't really speak Spanish that well, and so I, of course, because of my OCD, I was thinking, oh, they're deciding, should we kill them? Yes, we should. No, maybe we shouldn't kill them. Maybe you should kill them. No, but they left. So they left us, and they left, and then. The thing that was amazing about that experience was when the moment I thought I was going to die, I actually did get calm. So it did bring me weird, and I am a coward. I put the O in coward. Okay, I scared. I've never been in a fight. I've shrunk from physical, and so I thought, but for some reason, it just like so. In that case, I don't know that after it. I think after I probably was freaked out the next day, but I didn't. That was a time period in my life where I wouldn't acknowledge any things once I was over them. And that was a mistake.
Right.
I was like, oh no, I'm fine. I'm cool. My mom was cool. Most moms don't understand what their kids are saying.
Well, my anxiety is telling me like, oh, that probably saved your life, because if you were like freaking out tied up, maybe they would have done something. I don't know.
Well, it just made me. Well, this is another thing I went through in therapy. Was like, I know we're over time, but another thing I went through in therapy was like, I felt as a kid I had to fight. I had to fight like a man, which I never could do because I was 4'11" in high school, and I could never fight. And my whole life I was scared of confrontation. And it wasn't until I had therapy when my therapist goes, you're not supposed to go around fighting. It's like, and the fact that I didn't feel like I actually felt like I was less of a man because I literally had seen movies like Billy Jack or whatever. It's like you see these movies and you think that's what a man does. And I completely overcame my fear of getting beaten up from that. Because I realized I'm not supposed to be, don't have to worry about this. I'm not going to escalate it.
Right. Wow. Holy crap.
I'm cured. I'm just saying I'm cured. I'm cured, you guys. I mean, I tell when people are green behind the therapeutic gear. But years from now, you'll thank me.
You've been carrying that fear of getting beaten up for that long?
Yes, absolutely.
I still have it. I have it.
I was tortured by a kid, though, in school. Said, I'll meet you every day at 3:00, and I wouldn't meet him every day. So he would just like yell at me in front of the other kids and make me cry.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I really had issues with it.
Wow.
Yeah. I think, I had kids like that. They're just mean.
Yeah.
I was shorter too. I was shorter at 14. So I feel like that makes you a target.
I was 4'11" until I got into high school. Now I'm 5'5.5". So that's not, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, guys?
Yeah. You're towering over us. You got the guns.
I got the guns, yeah.
Oh, man.
Really
this was so fun. Andy, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Steven.
This was wonderful. I was so nervous. I wasn't nervous, but it was funny because it was about panicking. I panicked. I didn't know. I forgot to look. I said to myself, you're a bad person, Andy. You're a bad person. You could have glanced, but I'm a healthier person because I admitted it to you. Right
we love
at the top.
Yeah, we were sitting here like, oh, he's not gonna come. So we're just happy.
That's it.
We're
That
really
would be
happy
me. That would be me. Yeah. Of course he's gonna forget.
The whole time I was like, is he gonna hear us?
Very cool. This is great. I will send you my version. Oh, do you do a wrap up of the show? Should I stand by while you wrap it up?
We're keeping this in.
Oh, okay.
We could just plug your stuff.
Yeah,
I know we got Thought Spiral. We got your new album.
Hence
The humor. And the things that everyone should know who's in therapy is that this happens to me at the end of every therapy session. I always feel like I have to close the therapy session strong. You know what I mean?
There's no pressure at all.
But I actually told her that. It's like, I said, I gotta tell you, every week I was like, okay, so that's good, and I'll see, and I'll see you. Where are you gonna be? What should I say about you when you're leaving? But but that's a very Jewish thing too. About you're afraid of will they be happy with how I say goodbye? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for doing this. We're so glad you agreed to do it. We appreciate you taking the time.
You got it. Thanks for listening to all of my tragedies.
Oh, of course.
Do you have any gigs that are currently on the books and not COVID canceled?
No, but I did find. Well, I'm supposed to be in the fall. I'm supposed to be at the festivals I missed in the summer are supposed to be rescheduled for the fall. So maybe Montreal, maybe Toronto, and maybe Austin. But I got the first the club I was going to play at closed today. So that's a nice feeling.
Oh, God.
The Comedy Loft. I don't know where I think it's in Lincoln, Nebraska. It's closed.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, yeah. That's funny because there is a Comedy Addict. So, and then there's a Comedy
I
Loft.
love that club. That's a great club.
Yeah.
And I went to school. My parents went to school in Indiana University there in Bloomington. Yeah.
I'm supposed to be doing it in September. I'm doing Limestone.
You will love it. He is the greatest. He's the greatest club owner, and you will love it. And the crowds are great.
Oh, wow.
And I watched one of your Lettermans, and they said you'll be performing at Morty's Comedy Joint, and I performed I performed the last week there. So.
Oh.
That thing is done.
That's
they bulldozed that place.
Oh man.
I bombed there too.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I really bombed every show.
Oh God. Wow.
Andy, give yourself credit. Obviously, you did great here. So.
I killed here.
You killed here.
That crap for.
You killed here.
Oh, someone will send me an email about where to send it to, right? Or emails, right? Okay.
So we'll contact your publicist.
Yeah. No, it's
okay,
me.
Great.
You just contact me. I'll send it right back to you.
Yeah.